What do you get when you combine an unflapping young quarterback with deadly accuracy, a 6'4" receiver with sure hands, and a 5'8" speedster who can get open anywhere on the field? You get the Houston Texans offense, and it's taking the NFL by storm. Let's break down how it all comes together. At the heart of this exciting offense is Tank-Dell, a sophomore wide receiver who's proving that size isn't everything in the NFL. At just 5'8" and 165 pounds, Dell faced a lot of doubters who thought he was too small to make it in the pros. In the NFL of old, he could not have played at all due to his lack of size. He would have gotten smacked when crossing the middle of the field. But as his first season progressed, he's already becoming one of Houston's top receivers and a potential superstar at the pro level. Dell's success isn't just about his skills, it's about how he fits into the Texans' offensive puzzle. Paired with quarterback C.J. Stroud and fellow receiver Nico Collins, Dell is part of a trio that's giving defenses nightmares. How did a player his size become such a game changer? That's the story we're about to explore. Tank Dell's journey to NFL stardom didn't just start with fanfare and hype. In fact, his path was filled with doubters and challenges at every turn. Picture a high school football field in Florida where a 5'8", 165-pound wide receiver is trying to convince coaches he's got what it takes. That was Tank-Dell, a two-star recruit who many thought was too small to make an impact. But Dell wasn't about to let his size define him. He had something that couldn't be measured in inches or pounds: heart, determination, and lightning-quick speed. Despite the skepticism, Dell kept pushing, kept improving, and kept proving people wrong. His high school career was a preview of what was to come. Dell showed flashes of brilliance, making catches that seemed impossible for someone his size, but college recruiters weren't exactly lining up at his door. The big schools, the ones with national TV coverage and packed stadiums, they passed on Dell. That's when the University of Houston came calling. They saw something in Dell that others missed: a fierce competitor with a chip on his shoulder. And boy, did that chip fuel him. At Houston, Dell didn't just play, he exploded onto the scene. Over 3 years, Dell racked up eye-popping numbers. We're talking back-to-back seasons with over 1,300 receiving yards. And touchdowns, he scored 32 of them at Houston. Dell was making defenders look silly, using his quickness to get open and his sure hands to snag anything thrown his way. But even with those college stats, the doubters didn't disappear. As the NFL draft approached, Dell's size was still the talk of the town. Scouts and analysts wondered if he could handle the physicality of the pro game. Would he get pushed around by bigger, stronger defenders? Dell used all of this as motivation. He wasn't just preparing for the NFL, he was on a mission to prove everyone wrong. Every workout, every route he ran, every catch he made was fueled by the desire to show he belonged. When draft day came, Dell had to wait. He watched as other receivers were picked ahead of him. But instead of getting discouraged, he got fired up. Dell later revealed, quote, "I wrote in my notes the names of every receiver drafted ahead of me," unquote. That's the kind of drive that separates good players from great ones. The Houston Texans saw what others didn't. They recognized that Dell's quickness, route running, and ability to separate from defenders could translate to the NFL. They took a chance on him in the 3rd round, and Dell was ready to make the most of it. All those years of being underestimated, all those moments of having to prove himself, they prepared Dell for the biggest stage of all. The NFL is a whole new ballgame, but Dell had been playing with a chip on his shoulder his entire career. He was ready for this moment, ready to show that sometimes the biggest impact comes in the smallest package. When Dell stepped onto the field for the first time as a Houston Texan, he wasn't just playing football, he was on a mission to prove every doubter wrong, and boy, did he deliver. Week 3 saw him rack 145 yards on 5 receptions, tagging along a touchdown, and in Week 8 he posted 114 yards and 2 touchdowns. In just 9 games, Dell racked up 47 catches for 709 yards and 7 touchdowns. That's not just good, that's great, especially for a rookie. But here's where it gets really interesting. Dell didn't just perform well, he broke records. In a game against the Arizona Cardinals, he set a franchise rookie record with his 6th touchdown catch, and he didn't stop there. In that same game, he had 8 receptions for 149 yards. That's the kind of performance that makes people sit up and take notice. What's even more impressive was how Dell was getting it done. He's not the fastest guy on the field. His 40-yard dash time at the combine was 4.49 seconds. But speed isn't everything. Dell got something special. Quickness, off the line, and a knack for getting open that's driving defenders crazy. Think about this. Dell's averaged 15.1 yards per catch. That put him 5th among the top receivers in 2023. For a guy who's supposed to be too small to play in the NFL, he's sure making some big plays. But it's not just about the numbers, it's how Dell plays the game. He's got the incredible ability to separate from defenders and create space. His route running is top-notch, and he can change direction on a dime. This isn't just making life easier for his quarterback, CJ Stroud, it's making the entire Texans offense more dangerous. Remember all those people who said Dell was too small to succeed? Well, he's using their doubts as fuel. Dell said, quote, "It's just extra motivation to make me walk around with 2 chips on my shoulder," unquote. That attitude is paying off big time on the field. Dell's not just catching passes, he's catching the attention of everyone in the NFL. His teammates are taking notice too. Quarterback CJ Stroud didn't mince words when he said, quote, "He's definitely a superstar in this league," unquote. That's high praise from a fellow rookie who's seen firsthand what Dell can do. What makes Dell so special isn't just his physical skills, it's how he approaches the game. The Texans coaching staff has been impressed with how he's growing as a player. Offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick pointed out Dell's improvement in his route running and how intentional he is about his craft. This isn't a player resting on natural talent. This is someone who's working hard to be the best he can be. While Tank Dell's success is impressive on its own, it's his connection with quarterback CJ Stroud that's really turning heads. Stroud, the 2nd overall pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, had a remarkable rookie season of his own. Together, these 2 young stars rewrote the playbook and the expectations for rookie success in the NFL. Let's talk about Stroud for a moment. He's been slinging the ball all over the field, racking up yards and touchdowns like he's been in the league for years. But what's really special is how quickly he and Dell clicked on the field. You know how some players just seem to have a sixth sense about where their teammates are? That's Stroud and Dell. It's like they've been playing together for years, not just a few months. And it's not just luck. These guys are putting in the work off the field too. Here's something cool. Stroud and Dell are always texting each other about plays and ways to get better. Stroud even said, quote, "I don't think blood can make us any closer. I think it shows on the field, and we're going to build on that," unquote. That's the kind of connection that can take an offense from good to great. But it's not just Stroud and Dell. The entire Texans 2023 rookie class made huge contributions. It's like they all decided to skip the, quote, "rookie learning curve," unquote, and go straight to playing like veterans. And boy, has it paid off. Remember when everyone thought the Texans would be at the bottom of their division? Well, surprise. They didn't just compete, they won the whole thing. That's right, the Houston Texans, led by their amazing rookie class, took the AFC South crown. It's the kind of turnaround that makes football fans sit up and take notice. But they didn't stop there. These rookies had their sights set on something bigger, the playoffs. And not just a quick appearance either. The Texans fought their way all the way to the divisional round. That's seriously impressive for a team that most people wrote off before the season ever started. Now, their playoff run did come to an end in the divisional round. But let's be real, the fact that they even made it that far is pretty amazing. And a lot of that success comes down to the connection between Stroud and Dell. Remember that 40-yard touchdown where Stroud found Dell in the end zone? That wasn't just luck. That was the result of hours of practice. Dell said it himself, quote, "We just worked on that drill at practice, the scramble drill. Basically like backyard football. It's the kind of preparation and chemistry that's making this duo so dangerous." Coach D'Amico Ryans saw it too. After that play, he said, quote, "As I see CJ rolling towards our sideline, I look up and I see Tank has a step on the defender. 9 times out of 10, Tank is coming down with the ball," unquote. That's the kind of trust and connection that can change games. So what does this all mean for the Texans going forward? Well, with Stroud's arm and Dell's ability to get open, this offense is going to be a problem for defenses for years to come. These two aren't just playing well, they're changing how the game is played, and they're just getting started. The Texans' offensive trio of Dell, Stroud, and Collins isn't just making waves, they're creating a tsunami of excitement for Houston fans. But what does the future hold for this dynamic group? Let's take a closer look at how these young stars could reshape the Texans' fortunes. First, we can't talk about the Texans' offense without mentioning Nico Collins. This 6'4" receiver had a breakout season in 2023, proving to be the perfect complement to Dell's speed and agility. Collins' size and sure hands give Stroud a reliable target, especially in tough red zone situations. With Dell stretching the field and Collins dominating the middle, defenses are left scrambling to cover all their bases. But here's where things get really interesting. The Texans didn't just rest on their laurels after a successful season. They went out and added another weapon to their arsenal, Stefon Diggs. This move has got football fans buzzing with excitement. Imagine Dell's quickness, Collins' size, and now Diggs' elite route running all on the same field. It's enough to give the opposing defensive coordinator sleepless nights. The addition of Diggs could take this offense from good to great. His presence alone will draw attention from defenders, potentially creating even more opportunities for Dell and Collins. And let's not forget about Stroud, who now has an embarrassment of riches when it comes to passing options. Speaking of Dell, what can we expect from him going forward? If his rookie season is any indication, the sky's the limit. Dell's unique abilities have already shown how they can unlock Stroud's full potential. Their chemistry on the field is undeniable, and it's only going to get better with time. Dell's future impact could be significant. Despite his size, he's proving that smaller, more explosive receivers can thrive in today's NFL. His success might even change how teams evaluate wide receiver prospects in the future. Who knows? We might see more teams taking chances on smaller, quicker receivers in the mold of Dell. As for the Texans' overall prospects, this offensive core could be the foundation of something special. Head coach D'Amico Ryans seems to think so, saying, quote, "We're looking to build on our previous success and have high expectations for 2024, unquote. With Stroud throwing darts, Dell zipping past defenders, Collins making tough catches, and now Diggs adding his elite skills to the mix, the Texans' offense looks poised to light up scoreboards for years to come." The excitement isn't just limited to the coaching staff. Tank Dell himself is feeling optimistic about the team's potential. He stated, quote, "I know the years to come are going to be special here," unquote. That kind of confidence from a young player speaks volumes about the atmosphere in Houston. Of course, success in the NFL is never guaranteed. Injuries, contract negotiations, and the ever-present challenge of staying ahead of the competition can all throw wrenches into even the best-laid plans. But right now, the future looks bright for the Texans offense. With their young core of talented players and smart additions like Diggs, they're building something that could make them contenders for years to come. Tank Dell's success isn't just changing the game for the Texans, it's reshaping how we think about NFL receivers. At 5'8" and 165 pounds, Dell is proving that big things really do come in small packages. His impressive rookie season has scouts and coaches rethinking what it takes to succeed as a wide receiver in the NFL. Dell's quick feet, sharp route running, and knack for getting open are showing that size isn't everything. His ability to create space and make plays could influence how teams draft in the future. We might start seeing more teams taking chances on smaller, quicker receivers who could separate from defenders. What do you think about Dell's impact on the NFL? Could he be the start of a new trend in wide receivers? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Tank Dell isn't just catching passes, he's catching the attention of everyone in the NFL, and he might just be changing the game for good.